Hello class, today I'm going to teach you an enrichment activity by using a calculator. Before we start in this problem, first I need to show you how you can graph using a calculator. Now let's use our equation x squared plus 2x plus 1. So simply what you need to do is, you need to go to y equals, type in your equation, and then you go to graph. As you see here, we got our graph. Using this, we can find out that our domain is all real numbers and our range is y is greater than or equal to -1. That's how you're gonna use a calculator to solve domain and range for quadratic functions. So now let's start on our enrichment activity. So the question is, a ball is thrown straight up from 3 meters above the ground with a velocity of 14 meters per second. When does it hit the ground? So first, we need to make an equation. So we'll start with 14 and 3. Now how you're going to do this is, you have 14 t, because of the meters per second, we're going to use t as time, and then we have 3. But how are you going to get your t squared? Simply what you need to do is, since you know this is going downwards, it's negative. But how are you going to find out what number you're going to use here? Simply you need to write the equation -1/2 a t squared. And using this, you know that a is 9.8 meters per second squared. So using this, we can substitute a with 9.8. So that would be -1.2 times 9.8. And if you're to use the calculator, you see here that we got -4.9. So approximately this would be -5. So that's your answer. -5 t squared. And again, the t is for time. So this would be -5 t squared plus 14t plus 3. Now this equation might be a little hard to graph using hand. So let's use the calculator. -5 t squared plus 14t plus 3. On the calculator, the only variable that you have is x. So instead of t, we used x. And now we go to graph. And this is the graph that we have. So usually domain was all real numbers. But since this is a real life situation, you see here when the x-intercept is 3, where y is 0, so that is what you're going to use for your domain. So this would be the domain of the function would be 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 3. Now let's do the range. Now here, the range, you see this is at 12.8 approximately, but let's make sure. So now we'll go to we went to calculator on top of trace, and we could just go to maximum. We go to a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and we have 12.8, just to make sure. So since the maximum of this equation was 12.8, the range would be 0 is less than or equal to y. Remember, domain is x, range is y. Is less than or equal to 12.8. As you see here, real life situations might be a little harder than normal functions, but we're still following the same rules. And that's it for today. Thank you.